Welcome to Business Reports. I am Chioma Okolie. Nigerian civil society groups on Wednesday decried their exclusion by the government from the processes involved in the forthcoming 2020 marginal oil fields bid round. Recently, the Department of Petroleum Resources opened a bid process for the award of 57 new oil licenses to prospective Nigerian companies and investors interested in participating in the exploration and production business in the country. The group, which comprises of Publish What You Pay, Connected Development Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Budget and others, say the published bid guidelines by the DPR did not involve civil society among agencies that will monitor the exercise. In a letter to the DPR director, Sarki Awolo, the group demanded immediate inclusion of about 2 civil society representatives in the bidders screening team as observers to build public trust and investors' confidence in the bid process. A bid round expected to be completed over the next 6 months is coming more than 18 years since the last exercise in 2002. Now, the World Bank has approved the sum of $750 million as loan to Nigeria's power sector after years of negotiations over long-term reforms in the sector. The loan, which was approved by the Board of Directors of the Bretton Woods Institution, was for power sector recovery operation to improve the reliability of electricity supply, achieve financial and fiscal sustainability, and enhance accountability in the power sector in Nigeria. A statement, the World Bank noted that about 47% of Nigerians do not have access to grid electricity, and those who do have access face regular power cuts. In addition, the economic cost of power shortages in Nigeria is estimated at around $28 billion, which is equivalent to 2% of the country's gross domestic product. According to the Ease of Doing Business Report 2020, lack of power has been one of the major challenges facing private sector. The World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Chioma, said the lack of reliable power has stifled economic activity and private investment and job creation, which is ultimately what is needed to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. The objective of this operation is to help turn around the power sector and set it on a fiscally sustainable path. The Bureau of Public Enterprise (BPE) says ongoing reforms of the Nigerian Postal Service, and that's NIPOS, will unbundle the service into viable subsidiary companies, which will operate on principles of commercial viability, while the core postal service function will still remain. Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, Alex Oko, who said this during the inauguration of a subcommittee of the Implementation Committee for the Postal Sector Reform, Restructuring and Modernization of NIPOS, named the 3 commercial ventures to be carved out of NIPOS as NIPOS Properties and Development Company, NIPOS Transport and Logistics Company, and NIPOS Microfinance Bank Limited. In a statement released by Aminu Tukur, Head Public Communications, BPE, Oko noted that clarification became necessary to disabuse the minds of many Nigerians, especially the workforce of NIPOS, that the commercialization, reform and modernization of the organization was outright privatization. The committee has a timeline of 4 months to complete its assignment. Now, in spite of increasing number of COVID-19 cases as announced by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, most traders in Abuja markets do not adhere to the NCDC guidelines on physical distancing. When AIT visited some markets in Abuja, the nation's capital, both buyers and sellers were seen transacting businesses without observing physical distancing and other protocols.
Before the partial ease of COVID-19 lockdown in Abuja, the Nigeria capital, there was maximum compliance on the guidelines issued by both the federal government and the Federal Capital Territory Administration. Weeks down the line, residents appear to have lost interest in observing the guidelines put in place to curb the spread of the virus.
I believe that there's COVID-19, but I don't believe that it's here in Nigeria.
We never have weakness and say this person died with COVID-19 for this country. Where the person there died, we never see him. So that's how we just hear him.
The most common place where the guidelines are being violated are the markets and other business places. At Karo Market, traders say they are no longer keen on observing the guidelines.
Even though there will be corona, but it's not as much as the number they are telling us.
The only problem and the only issue that we are facing is that the federal government and the people tackling it are not being sincere.
With the continuous rise in the number of COVID-19 cases and realities of non-compliance to the safety guidelines, observers believe intensive sensitization by the government and relevant authorities might be the key to curbing further spread of the deadly virus. Amaka Ezekwe, AIT News, Abuja.
Now, Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umehi has proposed a revised 2020 budget of 131.847 billion naira to the people of the state for their input. The revised proposal is 26% marginally lower than the 178.136 billion naira budget approved on December 20, 2019. Presenting the draft revised fiscal proposal at a public hearing in Abakaliki, Governor Umehi pointed out that the downward review of the 2020 budget became necessary in order to meet up with the realities posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. In the revised proposal, a total of 15.5% of the budget will be dedicated for the COVID-19 crisis management, while the health and education sectors are to receive an upward review of 8.13% and 1.38% respectively. The governor made it clear that the salaries of the state workforce and pensioners will remain intact irrespective of the economic downturn of the state, just as he announced tax relief to cushion the impact of general economic meltdown in the country. Now, the public hearing had in attendance representatives of various interest groups, including the NLC, NMA, NUT, the traders' bodies, among others. And now to equities market. The equities market closed today on a negative note. The all-share index appreciated by 0.38% to close at 24,655.05 points, as against 0.02% depreciation recorded previously. Market breadth closed negative as 10 led 17 gainers as against 22 losers, topped by PZ on Wednesday. Improved performance when compared with previous outlook. Market turnover closes positive as a volume moved up by plus 12.68% as against a 34.70% uptick recorded in the previous session. FBNH, Zenith Bank and Access were the most active to boost the market turnover. Zenith Bank and FBNH were the market value least. Oil price fell on Wednesday with WTI crude around 39.59% a barrel after the APR reported a larger than expected crude inventory built on Tuesday, and the market reflected fears of a second wave of coronavirus infection in many countries, including the United States. Brent went for $41.72, while Bonny Light sold for $42.93. Well, that's business reports. Please be sure to subscribe to our official YouTube channel and follow us on our social media handles at Official AIT Live on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date on today's biggest stories. I am Chioma Okolie. The news hour continues.